If they knew me after a few drinks, they'd be all over me like a rat. The worst that they can do is sort of hang their head out too far and we might clip them with their elbow. So I'll just do my talking on the track. He said, righto, good luck.
Welcome to the next episode of Attention Paddock. We're in Hinckley at the Mead. This place is beautiful, flowers just coming out, and we're here to talk to one of Australia's quickest TT riders and factory supported RST man. It's Davo Johnson. Dave.
Hello, mate.
I know you pretty well, right? And I know you're from, I'm going to say privileged, but you're from a reasonably upmarket background, right? Dad were into bikes, that's why you're into bikes. But how the blooming heck does somebody from your background, from the other side of the world, end up thinking, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go across the UK and do some racing. And then it's another step to the sort of road racing thing.
Yeah, it was, like you say, my dad, he was into bikes and he raced a fair bit in Australia as well, like Australian championships, the superbikes from the 70s sort of thing. And then he got me and my sister into BMX racing. And from then, we ended up basically traveling a lot doing BMX as juniors, and I ended up doing a couple of world championships as well. And then he gave me a go out at our local circuit at Malala Raceway in Adelaide. And from that day on, pretty much, I was hooked. And BMX bike got put to one side, and away we went. And it was a pretty quick progression. Like, did only 2 years in Australia before I got my first deal in the UK in 2002. So yeah, 2 years there, and then it was straight here, which is freaking unreal. Like I put in all my life savings. Like, my dad made sure when I first got into it that I bought my own bike, and he let me a helmet which is 3 sizes too big, and some gloves and some hand-me-down leathers and.
But your dad's had you ploughing your own furrow really through most of it. Yeah.
He definitely didn't give it to me on a platter. I mean, he definitely could have, which I appreciate that he did it that way. Like, because it was, you see, it's a lot easier for a lot of kids. And when I come over and it was just like, my life savings went into it, and it's just been probably because of that as well. It took a while for me to get a good ride, really, like, because it was just me and sort of my helmet, and that was it with the teams. But I didn't have any money behind me after my first year. But yeah, so I did a lot of years in the British Championship, a couple of years out in the Dutch and German Championship out there, and winning races as well, and going quite. I mean, I was happy enough with where I was at, but I always sort of felt that I could have been on some better kit. But and then winning some British Championship races, and then sort of the opportunity come to do the TT.
Where did the road thing come from? Because that's a massive step, that, from your British Championship racing.
Yeah, well, I was at basically a crossroad in my career where I was in the Superbike class, like as you were watching, and I was sort of top 10 at best. With the teams I was with, they were great teams, but definitely like they had their sort of limits. It was all budget. Yeah. Really, that's how it is. I definitely felt that I was hungry at that point. I really wanted to sort of do well, and I seen guys I was racing against that I was also beating in other classes. They were progressing and winning British Championship races, like British Superbike races, so I sort of had the opportunity to do the TT, and much to my folks weren't best pleased that I wanted to do it, but I thought it'd be not a backward step at all, but like a sideways sort of step to maybe get something better, because in the British Championship as well as forward my whole career, basically. And
had you been to watch it? Did you know what the TT were about?
I did go, yeah. I went in the centenary year when
07.
07. Yeah. And Cameron Donald, I'll never forget, he come in. At that point I was like, no way, I was like freaking mad. And I spoke to him after, and he was in the Park Ferme, and I was like, well, I don't care, because he got second in the senior. Yeah. And he's like, well, cheers, Dave, are you going to do this next year? I was like, fuck off. It was, I was sort of definitely didn't want to do it at that point. But, a couple of years later, and I always enjoyed learning circuits, like going to a track, and I sort of really enjoyed challenging myself and trying to be like top 10 in first session of learning a track. I was like over the moon with, sort of thing. And obviously the TT is like the the ultimate at that, isn't it? Like of learning a circuit. So it was a massive challenge, and I thought I'm up for this, and did a bit of research, but I didn't do much research at the start. I got a story about when I went to the TT launch as a newcomer. It was me, Rudder, and a couple other people in this hire car.
Which is
2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were driving from the airport, and past the ferry.
Yeah.
And that I was like, so what part of the circuit's this? And Blade just looked at me and goes, are you fucking serious? And then I was like, what, is it not? And he goes, fuck, you got some learning to do, mate. And then from then on, I just like shit myself, basically. And then from that day on, it was like a month and a bit to the TT, and I just, every day I was like TT freaking watching onboard laps. David Jeffries' lap was my lap I watched, the narrator one he did, and playing the old school PlayStation game as well. So that definitely fired a rocket up my ass to learn the circuit a bit better.
Considering you're a bike racer, and that takes a certain amount of commitment, probably more than a lot of other sports, and your fitness and everything else that comes with it, you're a really laid back bloke, which is kind of what makes you quite popular. But did you realise how good you were going to be there? Because when you started, it was like you were just having fun and riding around, going quick, but you never really seemed to have any sort of off the bike. You never had any massive desire. You were never driven. You never looked like you were sort of driving towards a bit, and then you just got quicker and quicker. And did you realise you were going to be quick, or did it just kind of sneak up on you?
Not at all. I mean, I just went there 2010, having fun with the DP cold plating crew. Mick Charnock and the crew, Isle of Man, they live there. They live and breathe the Isle of Man. Great team, and we're just really having got a lot of fun. And yeah, we just got quicker and quicker through the week. I had no expectation. They were like, oh, you did 120. I was like, oh, is that good, is it? Like, I literally had no idea. And then we got better from there. I did it the first time just to tick the box. And like the TT, done, all right, move on. And it did work for me to get a better ride in the British Championship as well. And at the time, there's a few aspects that were hanging around me at the time that didn't want me to do the TT. The following year, so I basically didn't do it.
Yeah, you missed 2 or 1 year?
Missed 1 year, 2011. And then I sort of got rid of that aspect of my life, which wasn't needed, holding me back. And I went back again in 2012 with the PR racing crew. Then it sort of just got better and better from there. But I didn't expect it to sort of go as well as it's gone, but I'm really enjoying it, and every aspect of my life has been better since I've done it, really. So it's I think it was a good decision.
What year did you finish third? A bit of an unexpected third. Well, for you anyway. It wasn't expected for some people, but Super Stock.
19.
19. No, what, 19?
Yeah, it was the last year there. So I've finished fourth 5 times.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I remember your first force because you didn't get on telly and you blame me for it.
yeah, that's another story altogether. But yeah, so fourth a lot, and as you know, fly under the radar, and that's why that happened. Like, because I didn't shout, just sort of went about it, and next thing they didn't have any footage of me, which obviously wasn't anyone's fault apart from the directors. But yeah, and then 2019 with Honda.
Yeah.
At that point in time, it was after their couple of disaster years that they had, which that was a pretty documented story about with John at that point, and also Guy Martin the following year. If it was the years before, after they've won all these races, I probably wouldn't have got the ride.
Yeah.
So it was like they didn't have anybody that was the top premium level that wanted to sort of take it on, and there was me, and I thought I'd give it a crack, because everything I do, I always give it 100%. Like with the Norton deal, that was one sort of a calculated risk for me really at that point, because I felt as though it was I was ready for a top ride from 15 when I was with Smiths, and then went to Norton, and that worked really well for definitely forward in my career. And then let's say end up with Honda, and definitely with the Superstock. Nobody expected Superstock to be on the podium that year. It was about 20 horsepower down, but it handled so well, and that was the sort of the best thing about it. And ended up getting the podium, and Dyson head to head with Dunlop on the last lap. We were like back and forth, and ended up getting it by less than 0.2 of a second. Yeah.
Why do you think it is you've always gone below the radar? I think it's
maybe I just don't shout about it too much. Yeah. Just it's not something. I mean, maybe because I don't shout, I don't the TV crews don't sort of come jumping at me. Maybe that's what I should start doing. If they knew me personally, if they knew me after a few drinks, they'd be all over me like a rash. But before that, yeah, I'd have to do all my talking on the track. But hopefully that will change soon. I mean, the quiet guys, I feel that, you know, I want to go more than just a podium. And with the Classic TT, I mean, it's obviously not the main deal, but it was the same guys that were in it, and I won that in 19. So I feel I'm ready to make that big jump, definitely in the big classes, and try and go for some wins.
Do you think, because I think this, one of the reasons you have gone a bit unnoticed is, in all sides of your racing, to be honest, is because you're really laid back, really sociable, everybody likes you, and I don't think they see you as your typical kind of in bed for 9 o'clock, flipping, do you know what I mean? They don't see you as a real serious bloke about your racing, but I've always known that's quite the opposite. You're pretty old school in the fact that you know when to work and when not to.
I think that I saw a good interview that that Birdie did actually not long ago, and I rode for him at Macau.
Yep.
And I got on the podium there, and like that was a big chance for me, and I definitely really felt as though it was a thing I needed to really focus on it to do well, and I did, and we ended up getting on the podium. And then he did an interview, and he sees me as that as well, like, because he's a bit of a party boy as well, and he loves to drink, and I love drinking with him when we're drinking, like, it's good. But at Macau, he said in an interview that he was very surprised and how serious I was about the whole deal, and he was impressed. So that sort of drives me as well. Like, someone like that is one of the winningest team managers out there, and he's saying that. So I'll take that any day of the week.
Well, the reason, I mean, I've known you anyway, so I knew you were serious about your racing, but actually knew when to switch off. But I've done 4 TTs a long time ago, and one thing I knew straight away about the TT is if you take that lightly, take it as a joke, take it as I'm just going to ride around for a holiday at the pace you're going, that's really quite a bad thing to be. You've got to be serious about that job. So I knew you were. Yeah,
but as soon as I'm at the TT, like even my parents, my dad knows exactly how I roll, like with off track, on track, when I'm serious and when I'm not. They all see a difference in me throughout the 2 weeks. I can't really switch off. It's a different mentality you got to have.
Completely,
And my missus as well, and she knows when not to sort of press the wrong buttons in that 2 week period. To do well with the TT, you've got to have that mentality, and it's it's something that I can definitely switch that on when I need to, and that's this year I'm definitely up for that.
Do you think you've underestimated yourself a little bit over the years?
Not myself. I know what I'm capable of. I mean, it all started when I first come over here, like in junior superstock. I don't think you were commentating at that point, but I was racing with Sykesy and Crutchlow and Craig Jones, and straight away I was dicing with them and beating and having a good time. And from then on, like, it all comes down to the budget, where they sort of forwarded their career with, obviously they impressed a lot of people straight away, and they got the big sponsors, and I was always had good rides, no doubt, but it definitely would, if I had 50 grand behind me at that point to bring to a team, I would have gone to the next step. And I probably would have taken it a bit more seriously away from the track, and people would have seen me differently. But from that point, it was sort of a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, I suppose, when you see all them sort of progress and do a lot better. Yeah, so I'll just do my talking on the track. But when I can, obviously, when you're in BSB and you're on a bike that's not capable, you can't shine at all. I mean, sometimes I did. I'd say that the Norton deal, that was one, like I said before, was one that was a bit of a gamble at that point. I had other offers, and I thought, if this works the way I think it will forward my career straight away, and it 100% did. Now looking at it now, is a guy at the Isle of Man was saying about the Norton, and how he said that you made that bike look better than it was, and then a lot of people jumped on it and thought, what the fuck, this is a piece of shit.
One of them being John McGuinness.
Yeah, exactly, but I use that as a stepping stone that worked for me, and I think now people look at that and realise what I'm about.
Judge you a bit differently to what
I think so, yeah.
Paddock-wise, Isle of Man paddock compared to BSB paddock, do you think they've kind of diverged a little bit? It's real odd feeling in BSB now, where everybody's a world champ, or going to be at some point in their own mind, and I think TT, you've got a bunch of people who absolutely want to be there for no other reason than it's a challenge, and for some people it's a living, but there's also a different feeling of kind of camaraderie in the roads paddock, because there's more of an element of risk. I mean, there's a risk if you race around Donning, but there's more of a risk at the Isle of Man, so you kind of tend to, I don't know, look after yourself a little bit more, and you tend to be of a certain type. Do you know what I mean? You get less prima donnas because it's more about the racing than it is about the flipping sunglasses and.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, I mean, I wear sunglasses, but I'm Australian. I've got very sensitive eyes. That's why I do. I need them. Like it's I've got sensitive eyes. That's why I've got good vision. But with the riders there, it's a different. I mean, we all look at each other differently there. There's very few of us that don't get along. We're in the BSB. I mean, when I was in it full on, and you take someone out the week before, and next thing you can't walk past them without like giving them daggers and shit like that. But you don't sort of get that at the TT. Or saying that there are rivalries there, but I think we've all got that different respect for each other there. Definitely on the, like when we're going up through Parc Ferme, like together we're walking next to each other and we've got the same feeling. So it's like we look at each other, all right, man. Like just everyone's just like pre-shitting themselves basically, or maybe mid-shitting themselves on the way out to the Parc Ferme.
How long do you think it takes to learn the TT? Do you think you've done the complete kind of apprenticeship now? Do you think you know it?
I think so. 2010 was my first year, and I missed 3 years in between because obviously 1 year had that side kick which I had to kick to the side, and then the 2 COVID years. So I think this is going to be my 10th year. No, ninth year, in total. I lost a lot not doing it that second year. When I went back in 12, it was like starting again, because I didn't just stop the second year. I got it right out of my brain. It was gone. So I instantly forgot a lot of it. But from then on, I feel that because I was taking it very seriously with relearning it, and now I feel that it's so implanted in my brain. Every bump, manhole cover, turning point, telegraph pole that you use, mushroom tree, bloody arrows on the ground, I feel it's that embedded in my brain that I can't really get it out now. So I think everybody gets to that point where if we're doing it every year and you know you're going to do it again the following year, that's all we're really thinking about. Every day I've been thinking about it, like it's at some point since 2019. So I feel that it's pretty well in there now.
I'll tell you what, Davo, I have never been to Hinckley in my life. Do you want to show me the highlights?
Okay. The highlights? Yeah, I've been living here since 2002, so I know a fair bit of lowlights and highlights, so we'll go have a look.
Right, this year and future, you've been what? It'll be 3 years since you've ridden the TT, because everybody's missed 2. So that's 3 years in time. Are you looking forward to it, or nervous? Or? Well,
now it's all happening and the testing's all underway. I am definitely looking forward to it. I was happy enough to do, or lucky enough really, to do the classic TT as well. So that was 2.5 years ago.
Good run there.
Yeah, that was all right, yeah. And yes, the main TT is starting, and it's been, that's, like I said earlier, it's just, I've been thinking about it pretty much every day since the last time we were there.
In a positive way, I guess. I mean, I've chatted with a lot of TT men and they kind of can't wait to get back. But nervous with it as well. But they're all sort of excited to be getting back there and doing what you do.
Yeah, it is a different sort of nerves, probably more amplified, I suppose, because of the gap. And we're going in with a bike which, I mean, it is amazing so far with what we've done with it, but it's not been proven yet really. I know that it's nearly done 131, but obviously 131's not really fast enough anymore. So we're pretty confident, definitely with the team. I mean, the team's absolutely unreal. It's the best team I've ever ridden for, with the infrastructure and everything that they're putting into it, and the way they've looked after me throughout the COVID period as well is I'm forever in their debt really. Like, it's just unreal, and that sort of helped with a lot of the mental aspect of it all, because the COVID was quite a hard period for everyone.
Who are you working with? Do you know some of your staff, or is it all new to you?
I know pretty much all of them really. There's a couple of guys which I had to meet. Paul Curran is the boss of the team. He I've known him since we were kids, basically.
Yeah.
We used to come out to this lovely town of Hinckley on a night out with us from time to time back in the day. And I know his Mrs. Holly and Alan is the
team principal, I guess.
Principal, yeah. And he is a great guy. He's unreal.
Him.
Absolutely awesome. I only met him sort of briefly before the last TT in 19, and we got along really well. He had his motorhome there, and he was just like, "What's mine is yours. Just anything in the fridge." From then on, they even come to my stag do I had out in London.
Right.
Like that was soon after the classic TT, and yeah, great guy. And like I say, them looking after me throughout the COVID period is just unbelievable, and it's just I'll hopefully repay them with some mega good results this year.
Yeah, well, I wanted to talk about that because I asked you about your sort of slow burn, not tactic, but the way it's been at the Isle of Man. And now, quickie slap 132 plus. What do you think you're capable of? You're understated. You'd never jump up and say, I'm gonna smash this. You just kind of get about your business and then surprise people.
To win races, you're going to have to do 134.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I think it's hard to say whether or not the lap record will go. That all depends on the weather and the practice week lead up to it. But I feel, I'm sort of capable of going with that. And the way that the bike is feeling and the team, we're putting a lot of effort into the Superbike.
How difficult are they to get right for the Isle of Man now, them things?
It's a lot into it, a lot that goes into it, and the electronics is a huge part of it. And it's, in my experience, the easier the bike is to ride on the power, just smooth power delivery and stability in a straight line at high speed, and also through the bumpy curves like Ginger Hall to Ramsey.
Which with the Yamaha should have.
I feel it's got everything. I don't want to get too excited about it because that could all change on fucking first night of practice. But
yeah.
I feel that it's got everything we need. It's not an aggressive power delivery at all, and there's not a heap of power up the top. But when it does get to the top, it feels like it gets there very easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's not the fastest in a straight line, but from the point A to B to get to that top speed is unreal, and I think that's. Yeah, I'm hope that's going to be a good thing. I'm pretty confident in it, to be fair.
How do you feel to the racing basically this far away from people at 100 and whatever it is, 180 mile an hour? I mean, I always absolutely loved it. I loved the idea that people would just stood there and
yeah.
sat on walls.
Well, that's a part of the TT character.
Yeah.
And the fact that we can't see them is the best thing as well. We see just a blur of colour. And like Gorsley and places like that, they won't change that. That's on the outside of the track, and I mean, that's a safe spot for them. The worst that they can do is sort of hang their head out too far, and we might clip them with their elbow. And sometimes it's like more exhilarating, or just as exhilarating going there as a spectator it is riding. So it's yeah, that's something I hope they don't take too much of it away. Rider
safety, how seriously do you take your own? I mean, obviously you take it really seriously, but kit-wise, you're happy enough?
Yeah, well, I'm in the best kit there is, really. RST, I started with them in 2016. And yeah, I won't go anywhere else. Like, it's just the whole way they look after us. If something's wrong with our leathers, then they fix it quick, smart, and yeah, it's the best kit in the market at the moment, I believe.
Who are you going to have to worry about over there? I mean, or is it a case that you race yourself? They always said that, and I always felt when I set off down the road that it was up to me, and I didn't really worry. I wanted to catch somebody who'd set off 10 seconds in front, but do you feel you're racing yourself, or have you got some kind of goals? Or
I can't remember who's 8, but whoever's 8.
See, this is laid back. This is Davo laid back. But serious approach. You don't know who's in front of you.
I don't care who it is, I want to catch him. And they probably think I'm flying under the radar like I always do, and they probably think I'll never catch him, but I will. But I know who's behind me, and is a very good mate of mine, and that's Peter Hickman.
Yeah.
And last year on the Superbike, not last year obviously, the last time we were there in 2019, the Superbike Honda was pretty hard work.
Yeah.
It definitely didn't have that smooth power delivery which I speak about, and which you need there.
Yeah.
And he caught me very quick, which that's sort of I told him on the weekend we were hanging out, and I told him I don't want him to catch me. He's not going to catch me.
What did he say?
He said, righto, good luck. I'm like, yeah, thanks. But he's a great guy. We get along very well. And the best thing is, if he does catch me, which I hope he does, like I say, I know that he's going to pass me nice and safe.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing to have in your mind. You don't want someone kamikaze that's coming up behind you.
Do you know, I worked on the commentary team for the TT, and I raced there 4 years, did 10 years in the commentary, and I actually don't think in all that time I saw more than 2 what I would consider sketchy overtakes.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Within the top 20, that's for sure, definitely the top 10, there's all professional guys. It's there's no one that's going to make a silly decision and pass at the wrong point. That comes with the getting better at the TT as well. Obviously, the main safety thing is with your equipment. Like I said about the leathers, I'm super happy with everything I got there. And the next thing is obviously being happy with the bike that you got underneath you. And the better you get at it, the better kit and equipment you get.
And more you understand what you need to keep yourself safe.
Yeah. And that's one thing that you don't have to worry about is the mechanical sort of failure side of things, which the better teams you get, the less of a chance that's going to happen.
How long do you career-wise, where do you see you going from here? Would you consider yourself, I know you're going to Oulton Park for BSB, all the roads lads now, do some short circuit racing, keep themselves sharp and on the ball, but do you consider yourself a TT man now?
Yeah, I was always, I'm a short circuit guy at heart, but the longer I go into my life and the more things I've got, the other things I enjoy in my life, you don't sort of have as much time to put that 100% focus that you need for the BSB in time. And it's like the way it's going with my road career and the teams I'm able to ride with, and I'm just really enjoying my life.
You're saying that your roads career now fits in better with what else you've got going on. You've just been telling me well, I knew you were a CNC programmer, you're a proper engineer, and you've got a bit of stuff going on there, haven't you? Yeah.
Well, the COVID period has sort of got me thinking, because my dad's got a workshop there. He's semi-retired, but he's got a warehouse full of bikes, and I've got a fair few bikes now myself. Not quite as much as you, but I'm getting there. But yeah, so I just decided to start a little workshop, doing custom bikes and bits and bobs. And eventually I wanted to do cars as well, as I got my Cadillac 1970 Coupe de Ville, which I messed about with, 6 metres long of pure bliss.
It's not cheap to run these days with the fuel price.
Well, I don't drive it too far because of that. It gets about frickin' 2 miles to frickin' 3 gallons or something.
Yeah.
But that's sort of keeping me busy and made me think about the long term of it. And I feel that with the road racing, like, it's something that I'm sort of keen to carry on with, because I had my best year of my life with my racing, and also in every aspect of my life was the best year in 2019. So I feel I've got a few more years to give yet.
And what's your overall goal in racing? Would you be not happy if you didn't win a TT? Honestly, I've asked some people and they'd say, I want to win 10 TTs and I'm going to be world champ. But actually that's probably not going to be the case for most people you ask. And you're the opposite. You won't say what you think.
Well, I do want to win. I mean, when I've got a little taste of it, the old classic TT when I won that in 2019, and that was after coming back off the podium in the Superstock TT. I definitely want to win, like, there's no doubt. And I feel I won't be happy if I leave my career and not have won a main TT.
I've never been to Adelaide, been to Australia loads of times, but never been to Adelaide. What do they know they've got a TT start amongst their number?
Some do. Every now and again, someone will pick me out. But so I have done a bit of TV stuff out there. But in Australia, it's a lot about the V8 supercars. They dominate. The motorsport world, and then cricket and football. The thing is, everybody knows about the TT, and I went to this workshop actually to go and get some aluminium for my workshop, and the guy asked what I'm doing, and I said, I'll race bikes, but I'm building this workshop, and he goes, I've seen you before, and then I said my name, he goes, yep, you live in Woodcroft, and that sort of spins me out when that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
But it does happen from time to time. Not as much as you around Huddersfield, but it's getting there. And I think if I want a TT there, I think we'll probably have a ticker tape parade around Adelaide. But,
Well, when you do, I'm coming.
Yeah, thanks. That'd be good.
Right, I hate to do this, you know, but you're all right. Laid back character. Tannoy crackles into life. Attention Paddock. Attention Paddock. And then that buzzer goes, the kind of time warning. What's going through your mind?
Sort of, yeah, shit, it's happening. As the week goes on, you get more used to it, but the first practice, first race, to be fair, the Superbike TT, that's when it's all, that's when the nerves megally kick in, and yeah, that's when I give my parents a big hug and make sure they know I love them, that's for sure. But yeah, the feeling you get, only a few people know what that's like, and you do. You're one of them, and that's something that we can take to our graves, because not many people can sort of feel what we felt at that time.
Good, Dave.
Cheers, bro. Thank you.